Hi, this is Arvind. So in this session we are going to discuss about length. The most important task when you are doing with programming, when you are dealing with the data, length is very important concept. Right. Whenever a data step is executed, it will create one data set with given list of variables. And by default, SAS will allocate some memory for each variable. And whenever you are creating the variables through input statement, sometimes we will specify some width in the form of int format. Then that specified width will be allocated. If you don't specify, by default SAS will allocate 8 bytes of memory. Let's go with the example. So in this program here we are creating 4 variables. 2 of them are numeric, 2 of them are character. For numeric variable I am not specifying any width, but for another variable we are giving some int format $10.2. For name variable, no width is specified. For another variable with name address, we are specifying the width of 27 bytes. So let us have a look on this. Now it is creating one new data set with the name SS1, which contains 4 variables. First 2 of them are numeric, remaining 2 are characters. And let us have the properties. So always numeric variables will be allocated with 8 bytes of memory, and character variables, if you don't specify any width, by default SAS will allocate 8 bytes of memory. If you specify, then specified width will be allocated. Right. Next, we can create the variables even by using assignment statement also. So let's have an example for this. Here is an example. Here by using assignment statement we are creating the variables. Same, we are creating 2 numeric variables, 2 character variables. One variable is containing only one digit, another variable is containing multiple digits, and one letter of character value and multiple character value. And so here 4 variables are created and the value is perfect. Now just let us go with the length, SS2. So even assignment statement also, by default SAS will allocate 8 bytes of memory only for the numerics, and let it be 8 bytes only, and it never try to change the width, length for the numeric variables. If you want, we can give the int formats and all. It is not going to change the length, the memory concept of the variable. But for character variables, if based on the int format only, it will allocate the memory allocation. And for the numeric, it is always better to maintain the maximum width, nothing but the default width 8. Then only the program will run smoothly. And if you forcibly, if you are specifying the length less than 8, of course depends upon situation, we can give less than 8 bytes also. If you give like that, then the program speed gets decreased. So it's not suggestible to decrease the length of the numeric variables. Let it be the max only, so that program will execute comfortably. Now coming to the character variables. So here this variable is created with 1 byte of memory, and this variable is created with 22 bytes of memory. So at the time of allocation itself, whatever the width of character text string you are providing, that much memory will be allocated. Right. Next, another example. Fine. In this program, first initially I am allocating some value for variable A. Later, into the same variable I am trying to allocate something else with more characters. And in another case, I am creating one variable with nearly 20 bytes, 20 characters. Later, into the same variable I am trying to allocate with less number of characters. Okay, let us execute this program. So A is taking only 5 bytes. So initially when the variable is created, then itself the properties of the variables will be fixed. So later by assigning something else we can change the value but not the length. So properties can't be changed once the variable is created. So always variables properties will be fixed whenever the first time the variable got initialized. Right. But if you are expecting even this text, because when the variable is created you may be assigning with less length, but later you may require with more length to be inserted into that. At that time you need to declare the variable length before creating the variable itself by using length statement. Here is an example. So actually the first time I am assigning only 3 letters of character into the variable. Later I am trying to insert more number of characters into the variable. So in this case it will accept, because before creating the variable a, I am declaring the length for this variable as 20 bytes. So it can accept up to 20 characters into this variable. So whenever you are going to insert something else with more length and all, then before creating the variable itself, it is better to fix the length for the variables. Right. Next, coming to the numerics, we don't have such type of problem with numerics, because by default SAS will allocate 8 bytes of memory, and that 8 bytes is nothing but the maximum memory allocation for the numerics. So we don't have any problem. So here first time I am initializing with 1, later into the same variable I am initializing with 10 digits, but it will accept because already the memory allocation is max, nothing but 8 bytes of memory, so it can accept all the width. So the problem is only with the characters. So whenever variable is created, then itself the properties will be fixed. Right. Now we are going to discuss another topic, cat function. Cat function is very simple function, concatenation, to join the strings together, just to join the strings together. Simple example, x equals to some text, y equals to some other. Now z equals to cat of x comma y, nothing but SAS code, together SAS code as a single word will be assigned for z. And here z is newly created, so it can accept whatever may be the length of the character, so it will accept this. Let us have a look. SAS code, the result is a SAS code. Next, and one more concept about this cat function. Cat function will not add any spaces, will not remove any spaces, it will just join the strings as it is. Okay, let's go with an example. Fine. Here x equals to ab, y equals to c. Next, x equals to cat of x comma y. So the combination of ab and c I am trying to insert into x itself. So I am trying to change the variable value with another input statement, another assignment statement. So here the result will be abc. The cat of x comma y is nothing but abc. That abc I am trying to insert into x. Next, same thing, the cat of x comma y I am trying to insert into z. But remember here, if the value is abc, for example let us suppose that x is taken as abc, obviously after this statement is going to be executed. So abc then c, so it is going to be abcc. Just let us have a look in the output. But in the output you are not getting x value as abc. The reason, here first time the variable is declared here by using x equal to ab, then itself the properties of this variable are fixed as 2 bytes. So x can't accept more than 2 bytes in this concept, in this program. So here you are trying to insert 3 characters, but it will take first 2 characters only, remaining is truncated. So later x is ab, then this is c, so abc, but z variable is newly created, so it can accept whatever may be the length. So z is able to take abc, but x is unable to take abc, it will just take ab only. Right. So here initially the variable capacity is only 2 bytes, so it is unable to accept 3 bytes. Let's go with another example. So here x equals to a, b and space, then y equals to c. So can you guess the answer now? Cat of x comma y I am putting into x itself. So z is nothing but cat of x comma y. So if your answer is abc for x, then z should be abcc. Let us have a look in the output. X value is not abc, it's just ab only. The reason here is, even though the capacity is 3, now a, b and blank, this is what the x value, and coming to the y value is c. Now the combination of these two means ab space c, totally 4 bytes, 4 characters. So when you are trying to insert these 4 characters, automatically the x will take only first 3 characters, nothing but ab space. So the same thing is coming in into x. Later z value will be ab space c. It is able to accept 4 bytes because it's newly created variable. Okay, so in this case we are unable to take x value as abc. Let us try with another method. Now okay, look at this program. Here x value is ab, y value is c, but before creating the variable x, here I am declaring the length of x as 3 bytes. Now x capacity is 3. Initially, first time I am initializing with ab, later I am trying to assign the value of cat of x comma y into x itself. So what's your answer now? So once again your answer will be abc, right? But answer will be once again ab only, because first time we are creating the variable with name x with capacity of 3, nothing but 3 blanks is the value of x first. Later into that 3 blanks you are assigning ab. Automatically it will, character value will be left aligned, so a b then one trailing blank will be there. So now x value is a b then trailing blank. For that you are trying to add c. So ab space c, once again the same result you are trying to insert into this, but x will accept only 3 characters, so once again x value will be ab only. Just let us execute this code. ab only, but z value will be ab space c. Fine. Now the question, I want x value as abc. So total program will be the same thing. So which statement I need to write here so that x value should become abc? Of course, not directly by assigning the value as abc, just by using x and y values. How can I make x value as abc? So the solution, now the problem here is very simple. When you are trying to assign abc, in between space is there. If you are able to remove that space, now you can assign x value as abc. So to remove the spaces we have multiple functions. Of course, trim is one of the function, because here within x we have one trailing blank. So if we are able to remove that trailing blank by using trim function, then we can take x value as abc. So here cat of trim of x comma y. So within x it will remove the trailing blank. For that it will add c, so that now x value can be abc. So z value will be automatically abcc. Now abc, then abcc is the result for z. Next, instead of trim function we can go with compress function also. Compress of on the whole result, whatever may be the blank, whether it is initial, a leading blank or embedded blank or even a trailing blank, it will remove all types of blanks. So by using compress function also we can get the x result as abc, like this. Fine. Let us have one more small concept about length concept. So trim function removes trailing blanks we discussed. Basically trim function concept is to remove the trailing blanks. Here I have x value as a, b, c, then I have, let us suppose that I have 4 blanks. Now y equals to just one letter star. Later I am trying to join these 3 strings, nothing but y, x, again y. Nothing but for x variable on the both sides I am trying to add star. This is what my concept here. Next, cat of y comma trim of x comma y. For trim of x I am trying to add y. Nothing but you can easily guess the answer. So cat function will not remove any spaces, will not add any spaces. So whatever the blanks we have, after this blanks star will be added on both sides in this case. And in the case of q, it will remove the blanks and immediately it will add the star. Let us have a look on the output. Now this is x, this is y. Now abc, after the blanks star is added. Here abc and immediately star is added because trim function is removing the trailing blanks. So this is what the purpose of trim function. Now let us see one more example for the same trim function. Observe carefully here. X value is SAS, then let us suppose that 4 blanks. Then y equals to code, some text with no blanks. Then z equals to trim of x. Just now we discussed trim function is to remove the trailing blanks. Now Try to guess the answer for this P and Q now. P equals to cat of trim of x comma y. Trim of x comma y. So x is this one for this trim function. So nothing but this one. For this I am trying to add y. Now this is P. So you can guess the answer. SAS, then immediately code, because you are using trim function. Now what about the answer for this? Q equals to cat of z comma y. Z is what? Nothing but trim of x only. For trim of x, then y I am adding. So answer must be the same for P and Q. Let us have a look on the output. But answer is not same for P and Q. P value is a SAS code with no blanks, but Q value is SAS, then blanks, then code. Because within the same statement, if you are able to provide trim function, then it will work out. But if you are taking into separate variable, then it doesn't work out. The reason is, so just let us have a look in-depth concept of this length, how SAS program will work. Z equals to trim of x. So you are trying to assign some value into this new variable. This is what the meaning of this assignment statement. So here trim of x. So you are trying to assign some function with name trim on x variable. So by that time it should take the x variable into the memory, then it has to apply trim function. So if you want to take the x value into memory, it must take all the width of this, nothing but 3 plus 4 totally 7 bytes. With 7 characters only, with 7 characters are 7 bytes of memory, x must be taken into the hand, then it has to trim the value. So of course it is trimming the 4 characters, later it is assigning for this. But by that time, because at the time of initialization itself, it has taken 7 bytes of memory, so it can't accept, automatically it will be having the memory of 7 bytes. Even though you are removing, remaining will be the trailing blanks again, it will be gets added. So that is the reason you should not use this type of functions separately. If you want to use trim of x, you should use within the same statement itself, because at the time of initialization itself, it will remove the trailing blanks, it will immediately add the another value with the result within the given width will be allocated for variable P. But in this case, if you want to trim some value, automatically the blanks will be once again continued. Even though it is trims, later it will be continued. So we can't use like this. So whenever you are getting some problem, you can think of this. Okay, this is what the length concept. Now one more small topic about length. We have two functions with name length and length C. Length function will calculate the number of characters excluding trailing blanks. Now coming to the length C function, also will calculate the number of characters including trailing blanks. So the difference between length and length C is just number of, just trailing blanks will not be counted in length function, but length C function will count. A small example here. A equals to x, y, z, then some some trailing blanks. So now length function will give the result as 3 characters only. So length function m1 value will be 3, but m2 value will calculate all the trailing blanks. So result will be more than m1. And coming to the b value, so it is containing leading blanks, embedded blanks, of course trailing blanks. On this length concept, if you apply, except these 3 blanks, all the remaining will be counted, because length function will omit only the trailing blanks. And coming to the length C will take everything. So let us run this code. So m1 value is 3, but m2 value is 12. Here m3 is 7, but m4 is 10. So the difference between length and length C is just trailing blanks. So based on this concept, can you guess the answer for this now? P equals to some text, then L1 equals to length C of P, and here I am applying scan function. You know, scan function is to select the words from the sentences. For example, if you want to select second word, you can use scan of P comma 2. If you want third word, scan of P comma 3. So by using the scan function, now I am selecting 2 words. So now Q will be containing beta, R will be containing SAS. Now can you guess the length, how much memory will be allocated for these variables? P is containing approximately say some 12 bytes of memory. Then these are just taking the word from the sentences, so it should be either 12 or less than 12. It should be. Just let us have a look. So I am applying length C function on these Q and R by using L2 L3. Let us have a look on the output. Now you can have a look. So L1 mean actually P variable is containing 17 bytes of memory. So the parts of that same P variable, Q and R, better and SAS, are containing the width of 200 bytes of memory. So by default scan function will allocate 200 bytes of memory for the result variable. So you should remember this. Whenever you are dealing with the scan function, you just take care of this length concept. That's it for length concept.